Hello, I'm going to have a little bash at free will today. As I said in one of my previous videos, it is one of my favourite intellectual punching bags. When a lot of people talk about free will, they think that free will is a capacity that allows you to change and make decisions and stuff like that. It's not. But when you say that free will isn't true, they will say things like, oh, you're just giving alcoholics an excuse to carry on being an alcoholic. No, I'm not. And if somebody turns round to you when you're trying to stop them from being an alcoholic, and they say, oh, free will isn't real, and that's why I can't stop drinking booze, what they're doing, they're giving you an excuse to carry on doing what they want to do. And what you're trying to say is that if free will isn't true, then people don't have an excuse to do what they want, so they shouldn't do what they want. Yet, at the same time, you also think that free will defends freedom. It's a bit confused, don't you think? And to be fair, if you're trying to stop somebody doing what they want to do, when it doesn't affect you or harm you, you're a bit of a twat. But really, because free will isn't true, because our decisions don't just occur randomly, because, at least apparently, there is a sense of determinism going on, what I do today will have an effect upon my future decisions and behaviour. So say I am an alcoholic, or say if I'm addicted to cigarettes and stuff like that, if today I deny myself my addiction, and tomorrow I do the same thing, and the day after that, it will get successively easier to not do that thing anymore. And that's because the choices I make now and the things that happen now have an effect, have a determining effect upon my later behaviour and my later choices. So it's only if free will is true and each action is not causally connected to any prior action, then if you have a habit that you want to kick, you haven't got a hope in hell, mate. But if it's not true, then you've got a hope, because determinism's at work. What I do now will have an effect upon what I do later. Really, free will is just this thing people use to hit each other with, to keep them from coming out in the open, and it's nuts. It's like people are actively engaged in trying to make the world a worse place, and that's why they cling to the free will thing. Because they want praise and blame. They want that pat on their head, and they want the capacity to point the finger at other people to make themselves feel better. But it's just a quick little fix, but it doesn't solve anything. Like let's say free will is true, and somebody murders your son, and you're grieving and you're sad about that, right? What you're sad about is the fact that your son's gone, that he ain't coming back. And then all these cries for justice and stuff, they're just ways of putting off that time when you finally come to terms with the loss of your son. That's all they are. You use this cry for justice, this rage, this justified anger to push that real pain away from you. Whereas if you could just see that it's all just stuff happening in an apparently causally connected manner. I mean, causality seems to be quite... You do stuff and stuff happens. It just seems so self-evident. And if you realise that nobody's at fault, then you're going to tackle the real demon quicker. And that is that you've lost your son. It doesn't matter how the fuck you lost your son. I mean, you don't get, like, say if you lose a child or a family member in an earthquake, you don't hold on to this vain idea of justice against the fucking mountain, do you? No, you don't. You just get on with it and grieve. That's what you got to do. And this whole thing about justice is just an excuse people use not to engage their real pain, not to actually get to the heart of the matter. And to be fair, I mean, think about it rationally, right? If I lost somebody and I'm grieving and I'm hurt, what possible good could it do to me for somebody else to be hurt because of that, even if it's justified? I can't. Like say somebody murders my dad, right? And because we live in a system, or because imagine we live in a system which justifies the death penalty in a very painful manner, and I hate this guy now because he murdered my son, and I go there and I watch him being in pain and stuff like that, For a bit, it may be relieving. There may be a little kind of, you know, morphine burst of euphoria at the fact that this person that done this to my son is gone. But after the event's over, what good does it do to me? I can't take it to the bank, I can't eat it, I can't fuck it, I can't do nothing with this thing. It's just a brief little event. And then I go to my cold, empty home without my dad anymore, and it's like, what good is it to me? None at all, you know? And yet people cling to it. This idea that man's dignified, and that's why he has to have free will. Anyway, yeah, 5 minutes out, well, 5.5 minutes. Boom. Goodbye.